So guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Everybody, if you're a first time viewer or a listener, please just click the subscribe button and press the like button. So we continue talking about pressing issues that are happening in South Africa or that might be happening outside of South Africa, but they are of interest to us. So today I'll be talking about the death of Floyd, George, and of Collins Khoza. And the history of hashtag Black Lives Matter. So Floyd George was killed in America by a police officer who was arresting him. So it happened that when he was being arrested, the police officer knelt on his neck until he couldn't breathe. So guys, what happened is after these recent activities, the Black Lives Matter movement again is protesting on the street because of the death of Floyd George. And we've seen some of the tweets from people in America and South Africans and companies who are in support of the Black Lives Matter protest that is currently taking place in America. But again, we have a problem, guys, with some of the celebrities in South Africa, especially AKA, who just came out and suggested that guys, Black Americans should come back to Africa. And first of all, his solution or his suggestion, because it's not a solution, doesn't end racism. And doesn't mean when Black people are coming to Africa, they're not going to be subjected to racism. We as Black people, everywhere we live in the planet Earth, we are subjected to racism. Even in South Africa, where AKA is coming from, he is still himself subjected to racism. Guys, even here in Africa, where is he subjected to racism? And I'll give an example of what happened to Collins Khoza, who was killed in Alexandra, the north of Johannesburg. So the guy was killed by South African National Defense Force, by soldiers, yes, soldiers with guns. But yeah, so they had their story to try to defend themselves, and they had a minister who was in their corner. I don't know who's in whose payroll, but the minister came out defending them. And of course, there's a report from the same ministry that declared the soldiers of any wrongdoing. So the security force brutality that is subjected to people, to Black people all over the world, happened in our own continent, in Africa and in South Africa, particularly because in South Africa, this is not the first case, and it was not the only case during the coronavirus lockdown. It has been happening with the police killing people. We have the Marikana situation that happened in 2012. 34 mine workers killed by police. And life still continues normal. So my take on all of this hashtag Black Lives Matters is that it resonates well with majority of the people on the planet Earth, because everywhere you go, people of color are subjected to racism. So it might sound like America is proactive in terms of addressing racism, but everyone is trying to fight racism. But what I would like to do now is really applaud Americans for fighting it during this coronavirus. People thought, no, I don't go out on the street and fight for something like racism. But people went out to fight for racism. They know outside there are police with guns who may kill them anytime. There is a corona that spread amongst people who are in groups. But they just went out. The energy, the time. And then, guys, you come to South Africa, we've seen the numbers again on the street. People are queuing for alcohol, for wine and all that, for beer. The shops, the lines we've seen today are so long. People sing struggle songs because they feel like they have been freed from oppression that they have been experiencing since the beginning of the lockdown. And guys, that was the main concern that people had, saying we agree with the lockdown, but we don't want to be part of this lockdown if it doesn't involve us drinking alcohol. But guys, still we continue with the ban of cigarette is still in place. People still are buying alcohol but not buying cigarettes, so we don't know how it will happen. But I feel like in South Africa, our priorities as people are not checked if we still prioritize our freedom or we prioritize unnecessary things in general, because drinking alcohol won't solve the problems that we have. We might be again talking about the same problem with police killing people, because people will be drunk, people will be ungovernable again. We're gonna go back after the lockdown with our beers, our wines, and everything that is involves alcohol in our house. Still talk about how many people were killed because of this lockdown. People who died not because of the corona, but died because of the brutality of the police, soldiers, or the security sector in general. Remember, when people are drunk, because we know South Africans, we are ungovernable, people will be driving drunk, people will be inviting friends over for parties in their own houses. So this will increase the violence, the gender-based violence in the household will increase because people are drunk. And South Africans get to visit hospitals on weekends because of drinking. People get hurt, people need emergency, and they end up flooding the hospitals in the AMs of Saturday morning and Friday. So again, guys, we're gonna have a problem with this drinking during the corona lockdown. I feel like if we were responsible enough as citizens, we didn't have a problem with opening of the liquor sector. If only we were sure that 90% of us will behave. But I'm telling you, we're going to start hearing cases of people who were involved in accidents because they were drunk, people getting arrested because they were drunk, people fighting the soldiers. And it was important, one thing I took from the Minister of Defense was saying, we don't have to argue with the soldiers or fight the soldiers because they're not trained for such. They're trained to shoot. So we're going to have a major problem as people are drunk and do as they wish outside there. But guys, let's behave, drink in your own house. And please, when you are drinking, make sure you don't go out. And because people just don't decide when they're drunk, let me go buy cold drink at the garage. They take out the car. Let me go buy meat, and they take a car and drive to the shop. An accident happened. People need to get to hospitals. Hospital, as we speak, they have much people who are sick. Bed should be filled with coronavirus patients. No, guys. And again, guys, to remind you, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And guys, I love you. More content coming. I'll just keep on updating more content for you guys. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the like button. I really appreciate your time, your data. Guys, bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.